Today we will be going over Genesis chapter 15. We will start with verse 1. After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus? And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is my heir. So basically, Abram is kind of wrestling with the Lord a little on the Lord had made a promise to him that he would all his children would be as the sands on the beach. And he's kind of scratching his head, and he's like, well, how is this going to be when I have no children? And that's basically what's going on here. Is he's kind of questioning, how are you going to fulfill your end when there's no children to fulfill your end too? So we go to verse 4. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad, and said, Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. So the Lord kind of come down, or kind of somehow communicated with him, and he kind of took him outside and showed him the heavens and the stars, and he assured him again that your seed's going to be as numerous as the stars. And it seemed like it was enough to keep Abram happy, because Abram said he believed in the Lord. So let's go to verse 7. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, Take me an heifer, which is a cow, of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And the fowls, of course, are like the buzzards and vultures. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. So here he's saying that his children will be strangers in a land that's not theirs, and they shall serve them. So basically they're going to be slaves in another land. And they shall be afflicted in 400 years. So they'll be slaves to another land for 400 years. And also that nation whom I shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. So after the 400 years, God's going to judge this nation that has enslaved his children and children's children and so forth. And when all is said and done, after 400 years, the people will come and they'll be rewarded greatly. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down, and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt until the great river, the river Euphrates. The Kenites, and the Kenizzites, and the Cadmonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephaims, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. So this is basically going back over and reinforcing the promises that God's made to Abram. He's reassuring Abram. The new part is he kind of says that Abram's people will be slaves to another nation for a while, 400 years, but they'll be rewarded in the end. So I guess we'll see where that goes. But that is it for this chapter. We will